King's poem, If, includes these lines. If you can dream and not make dreams your master, if you can think and not make thoughts your aim, if you can meet triumph and disaster, and treat these two impostors both the same, yours is the world and everything in it. And Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, and those out in YouTube land, easy for me to say. I had a dream for 50 years, and as I prepared for this speech, I realized that my dream was not one that could be achieved. Did I waste my time? Sort of. But when you're on a quest, you can come to some smaller dreams coming true. My dream was to come up with something that you could use throughout your life and you could pass on to others. An idea that would make you happy all the time. Seemed reasonable to me. Okay. The problem is that we can come up with secrets of life, but they're based on the stories of our lives, and we have more than one story, and other people have other stories, so they have different secrets. So you can't take one secret and move it on, because what worked for your golf swing is not going to work for your making love. Probably. If you try to make it work, that's the thing. You take something, try to make it work, but basically you need several secrets of life. You've got to keep moving on in your life. Now, in terms of triumph is winning. A few years ago, Tony Robbins had a tape I listened to, and he said, ask yourself, what is your definition of success? When do you think you're succeeding? Is it when you're winning all the time? Whatever it might be. Mine, of course, was what I just mentioned, being happy all the time. Now, if that's your definition of success, you're going to keep needing another self-help book because you're not going to get to that. You can have a definition of success that doesn't put success always just out of your reach and lead to a life of frustration. You can have a definition of success that means you can move from success to success. But what I really want to talk to you about today is failure. How do we handle failure or disaster? There's a Peanuts cartoon that I looked at many years ago. It shows Snoopy the dog. He's walking away from a tennis net. And on the caption it says, it doesn't matter if you win or lose till you lose. Now when I'm at the casino with my wife, that phrase comes to my mind often. Yeah, it didn't matter, but now it does. You'll notice that when you do fail at something, you seem to remember it forever. How many of you know how many Americans died in the Civil War? 620,000. Now we don't know, but maybe in Mississippi they know, because for the North, the Civil War ended in 1865. For the South, it might still be going on. How did we lose that? We should have gone into guerrilla fighting. If it wasn't for the Irish, whatever their problem was. Now, if you look back on ourselves, how many remember a Vikings game where we had a 13-2 season? Randy Moss was on our team. We'd scored more points than anybody had ever scored before. We played Atlanta. Gary Anderson had kicked 35 field goals in a row during the regular season, hadn't missed any. Nobody remembers that?
I do.
Yeah, he missed. Isn't that what we remember? He missed. Atlanta won, and we didn't go on to see if we could win the Super Bowl or not. Why do we remember all these things? Well, I think Jock Elliott hinted at it. Jock Elliott's been in 5 Toastmaster International contests. And about 10 years ago in Palm Desert, he said something that was important, and he said it in an interesting way, and you've heard me say it before. In the speech contest, it's hard to win, but it's really hard to lose, especially when you could have won, and you should have won, and you would have won. If it wasn't for the judges and the other contestants, if you'd had a better speech. We remember failures, and we remember them, I think, because of something called the drama triangle. We try to make sense of the world, and whether it's politics or our personal lives, we use the drama triangle. That means there is a victim, there's a villain, and there's a hero. And you'll see that all the time. In the national sense, we wonder, how can we disagree so much? Well, we do disagree. The American soldier, is he a hero fighting in a war? Is he a victim of a bad policy? Is he a villain for following that policy? Is he all three? And we have different opinions. We've all heard Bush lied, people died. I saw a billboard coming back from St. Cloud that said, Gore lies, wins Nobel Prize. So we have different ideas of who are the villains in our society. Now in our personal lives, we do the same thing. Let's say I'm up late at night and I eat ice cream until I pass out. Normal situation, right? Perhaps some of you have done that, several times a week. All right, am I a villain? Yeah, you shouldn't be eating that ice cream. What's the matter with you? Am I a victim? Hey, my wife didn't say goodnight to me. Give me a break. Or am I a hero because, yeah, I'm eating all this ice cream, but tomorrow or next week or sometime I won't be eating any ice cream. I'll be on the straight and narrow. Well, so if we look at the drama triangle, we'll see that it really doesn't explain life. We have to look beyond that a little bit. There are a number of ways to do that. People that are depressed think that their problems are personal. Geez, it's my fault. Why'd I marry this woman? As an example. All right, well, maybe it's not your fault. Certain pressures, you didn't think you'd find another girl, whatever it might be. It's not so totally your fault. Is it permanent? Well, permanent's a relative term. Is it pervasive? If something's not going well in your life, does that mean that your whole life is a mess? So you don't have to look at it that way. Another thing you can do is try to have a little confidence. You know what Jimmy Hoffa used to say? He says, I've got my faults, but being wrong ain't one of them. Now remember, not everybody judges you the same way you judge yourself. What Kinsey, the expert on sexual behavior, said to the pervert, you're okay in my book. Kind of keep that in mind. If those don't work, remember the man that took the golf lesson. This might help you. Guy went to take a golf lesson. The pro said, take some shots. He hit 6 bad shots, then he hit a good shot. The pro said, good shot. He said, what did I do wrong on the first 6 shots? He said, who cares? That's what I'm doing with this speech. Who cares? If I did something wrong, who cares? But what am I doing right? And when I think that way, then I can enjoy it. So remember that when it comes to so-called failure, if you can have an attitude of gratitude, if you can be big on forgiveness, think of Rodney King. Remember Rodney King, can't we all just get along? Be big on forgiveness, forgive yourself. If you can have a lot of positive thoughts, maybe you and the world can be ours and everything in it. That's